This week on JambarTV, we'll look at the recent university program cuts, then we'll talk about the cooking club at YSU, and we'll also talk about basketball teams in their start in conference play. Welcome back to JambarTV. I'm Nina Reeder.
And I'm Matt Soller.
Over winter break, the Board of Trustees announced that Congressman Bill Johnson will begin his presidency on January 22nd. Johnson's appointment continues to be met with backlash, and a group of YSU students have a plan to voice their concerns on his first day. Editor-in-Chief Molly Burke has more.
On January 8th, students, alumni, and community members met at the Public Library of Youngstown in Mahoning County to discuss their concerns over the president-elect and YSU's future. Several attendees said they worry Johnson will take away academic freedoms and create an unsafe campus for diverse students. To voice their opposition to Johnson, a group of students led by senior political science major Rose McClurkin planned to stage a walkout on Johnson's first day. McClurkin said student activism is important for making their demands heard.
We can maybe have some very impactful demands that we can collectively ask for as, a leading part of the student population in our alumni group.
Jenna Knowles, senior forensic science and biology major, is part of the group planning the walkout. Knowles said the ultimate goal is to get Johnson out of office. She hopes the walkout makes an impact.
I kind of just want to cement the fact that we're not cool with this and we don't want him to get away with pushing any of his policies onto us. That's kind of what I think we're trying to achieve at this point.
Other meeting attendees shared apprehension towards Senate Bill 83, a Republican-backed bill that targets diversity, equity, and inclusion programs as well as university curriculums. At the meeting, several students said they believe Senate Bill 83 and Johnson's hiring are part of a larger effort to negatively influence the higher education system. Jason Long, a history master's student, said he worries YSU is a test case for other universities.
With some of the concerns around academic freedom throughout the state, it seems as though YSU is serving as a test case for the state of Ohio, a test case for how much politicization they can do to our state universities and to see if they can replicate it at other campuses in the state.
Flyers for the walkout against Johnson were passed around at a protest against recent program cuts on January 10th. The flyer says the walkout will take place at 10 a.m. on January 22nd outside of Todd Hall. To read more on the developing story, pick up this week's Jambar. For JambarTV, I'm Molly Burke.
The university announced on January 8th 8 programs to be sunset. Since the announcements, students, faculty, and staff have reacted during meetings and through social media. Elizabeth Koss is following the developing story.
We are 1 week into classes here at Youngstown State University, and within that same time period, 7 programs will be sunset, and 1 program will be completely reconstructed. The programs that the university will no longer be offering after this academic semester include the Geography degree, the Bachelor in Art and Music degree, the Bachelor in Art and Masters in Music Composition, the Masters in Music of Jazz Studies, and Art Education, while the university will completely restructure 3 Bachelor of Art tracks from the Studio Art degree, which are Interdisciplinary Studio Art, Digital Media Photography, and the Interactive and Graphic Design track. Both the Interdisciplinary Studio Art and Media and Photography tracks will be merging collectively, while the Graphic and Interactive Design tracks will become their own majors separately. I sat down with Jennifer Pintar, the interim provost, and she explained that students in these programs will still be able to complete their degrees.
Those students will be able to complete their degrees, absolutely. Those programs will not be closed at the state level till all the students have graduated from the programs.
With the cuts, an accompanying voluntary separation and retirement package is going to be offered to faculty as part of an agreement with the YSU OEA. Up to 13 faculty will be given this offer, but no more than 13 will be gone. Pintar explained that these discussions have been ongoing for years now, and that these decisions are collaborative agreement.
Right, the Taking Charge of Our Future initiative is part of our strategic plan, which is a dynamic living document that was created with faculty and staff and administrative input. That document encouraged the Office of Academic Affairs to start a academic program effectiveness and efficiency initiative 3.5 years ago, of which faculty have been involved with. They have known where the programs stand. We have developed scorecards and dashboards and have done a continuous discussion with faculty about where they sit with the program. So this has been going on for quite a few years.
Later in the show, guys, I'll be talking more about what these cuts are going to mean for the Dana School of Music, as well as taking a look at the Save Dana rally and Save Art rally that happened outside Todd Hall on January 10th. Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Elizabeth Koss.
The Dana School of Music itself is facing 4 program cuts. Dean Phyllis Paul requested to not be on camera, but said the cuts and reorganizations aren't randomized, but were discussed over a period of years in collaboration.
Well, what I can say is that the chairs have been working really well, faculty and chairs together, collaboration, that thing, to renovate programs. So I don't want anyone to mistake that because we have an immediate reorganization, that this is the only time the chairs and faculty are working to innovate. It's not. They've been doing that continuously, and they've made some really great progress.
The art department will see major reorganization efforts in its formerly studio art degree. For more in-depth information on the art, music, and degrees affected by these changes, visit thejambar.com.
On the first day of the semester, the YSU community received several announcements that administrative positions have been reassigned. With former interim president Helen Lafferty stepping down December 27th, Vice President for Finance and Business Operations Neil McNally became acting president until Johnson starts his term on January 22nd. Former Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs Brian Smith was moved to the role of Special Assistant to the President, and Vice Provost Jennifer Pintar was also appointed Interim Provost.
The Dean of Students sent out an email clarifying YSU's marijuana policy after passage of Issue 2. Marijuana, including medical marijuana, is still prohibited on campus even if legally obtained in Ohio. This prohibition applies to all students, faculty, staff, and visitors to the university, including at university-sponsored events. YSU stated that as a public university, it needs to comply with federal law. The email sent over winter break cited the Drug-Free Workplace Act and the National Drug-Free Schools and Communities Act. It's been terribly cold lately and the winds are just picking up.
Frigid. Let's go to Molly with the weather.
Looking into the weekend, we're going to have some chillier weather with temps below freezing and strong wind speeds. I'll have a more detailed report after the break.
We know you hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Why go to a school in the Mahoning Valley of Northeastern Ohio, surprisingly beautiful as that may be? Why live on a campus that sits on the edge of the Rust Belt, historic and inspiring as that may be? In short, why choose Youngstown State? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the future, we take a back seat to nobody because you can afford us, and we will afford you the opportunity to build the future you want and the life you desire. Why Youngstown State? Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
Welcome back to Jambar TV. I'm Molly Burke, and this is your weekly weather outlook. Here is this weekend's radar. Today will be cloudy with a mixture of snow and rain in the afternoon. There will be wind speeds up to 21 miles per hour. At night, we'll still see heavier cloud cover and wind speeds will continue to stay around 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow will be another chilly day and will be mostly cloudy. We'll see a 70% chance for snow with wind speeds staying consistent. Tomorrow night, the temps will drop into the teens, and we'll see high wind speeds around 22 miles per hour. It'll continue to be cloudy with that chance for snow moving into the evening.
On Sunday, we'll see the temps in the 20s with wind speeds dropping to 13 miles per hour. However, those wind gusts will stay around 28 miles per hour. That chill will continue into the night as temps drop. Now let's take a look at my 4-day forecast. Today will be cloudy with a high of 42 degrees. There's a high chance of a mixture of snow and rain at 82%. At night, the temps will drop to 28 and that chance of sleet will increase. Tomorrow, temps will drop with a high of 35 degrees. It'll be a cloudy day with an 88% chance for snow. At night, we'll have a low of 19 degrees and the chance for snow will slightly increase. On Sunday, we'll see a high of 24 degrees with the chance of snow at 25%. At night, those temps will drop to 13 and that chance for snow will stay the same. Now let's take a look at the start of the week. Monday will be chilly with a high of 21 degrees and a low of 13. We'll see a 25% chance for snow throughout the day, but that'll increase to 96% at night. That's all we have for this week's weather outlook. But stick around because Zoe Bechtel will be in the studio with the story about the protest against program cuts at the Dana School of Music.
Why Youngstown State University? Because when it comes to the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
Welcome back to our opening JambarTV episode for the spring semester. I'm Zoe Bechtel, and this is your student life update. Students, faculty, staff, and community members protested cuts outside Todd Hall on Wednesday. Elizabeth Koss is back in the Jambar office with more on the cuts to Dana and its counters.
Thanks, guys. It has been a busy, nonstop week for us here in the office, and simply because this is a continuing and developing story. I managed to speak with Jen Pintar about, some of the disagreeing information that has come from SaveDana.com, alleging that the misinformation is partially on the administration's side, is that their numbers aren't lining up with what had been published. I sat down with Pintar herself and she explained that these are simply either two different data points or this data wasn't available when she had made the presentation back in December.
So I get my data from Jeannie Herman in institutional research, and so you have to remember when that presentation was originally developed was back in September, October, when we didn't have the fall 23 14th enrollment report. I used 21-22 data and the 22-23 data that is published through institutional research.
Do you know where Dana's music's data had come from?
Yeah, it looks like it looks to me like it's from the 14th day enrollment report.
Now, these cuts have been finalized in accordance with Youngstown State University, and there are obviously communications about retrenchments and stuff like that, and no more than 13 faculty members are expected to be retrenched in these programs that are facing cuts. However, this didn't stop students, faculty, staff, and other community members from coming out on January 10th and protesting against these cuts.
I came down here because I really believe in the arts. I think the arts are one of the most important parts of a community. The arts create the community's culture.
I don't really understand why we need to scale it back. I mean, I get it. Budgets are tight. Everybody's budget's tight. But, I see the exact same state of everything in the school. Nothing has been updated. Nothing has been changed that much. It's just, you can see the lack of funding. But
Now, the Jambar will be looking into a variety of claims made either from faculty members or from SaveDana.com itself into whether any of these allegations are true, of course. We'll be following this story extremely thoroughly, and we will have updates for you within the coming weeks. Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Elizabeth Koss. Back to you.
For YSU students living on campus without a vehicle, getting around can be a challenge. However, a new Student Government Association project is in the works to improve on-campus transportation. Molly Burke has more.
SGA is collaborating with YSU Parking and Support Services to introduce a new feature on the Y app that would allow students to track the location of the Penguin Shuttle. SGA hopes it will improve rider experience, convenience, and safety. WRTA is the contract manager for the Penguin Shuttle. Jordan Pintar, SGA Vice President, said students will be directed from the Y app to the WRTA app, where they can track the shuttle in real time.
It would show in real time where the bus is driving at, obviously where it's going to with its next step. That would give students an opportunity to be in a room and say, oh, hey, look, the shuttle's going to be here in 5 minutes. You know, then you can go walk outside and see it there.
Director of Support Services Danny O'Connell said the shuttle's tracking technology will be similar to that of an Apple AirTag.
I mean, in essence, it's like fleet tracking. You know, you could put an AirTag on your car. So that's a similar technology.
SGA hosted a focus group meeting December 4th in the Pollock Room of Kilcolly to meet with O'Connell and suggest improvements to each of the shuttle's loops. Alexander Papa, SGA president, said support services are documenting when students use the shuttle the most in order to refine each route.
What they're sort of doing right now is tracking all the different turns, all the different stops of the shuttle. So I think they're actually focusing more on like trying to figure out like what routes are popular, what routes aren't, and hopefully expanding that.
At the meeting, O'Connell and SGA also agreed to add bus stop signs on campus and increase the number of shuttles running per hour. Pintar said she hopes the changes will be implemented by summer.
Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Molly Burke.
Lit Youngstown has many events planned for the coming weeks, including a youth poetry contest hosted by the Public Library of Youngstown in Mahoning County, as well as Uplifting Palestinian Voices, a poetry reading to be held on January 24th. A virtual fundraiser will be held on January 16th for Lit Youngstown, highlighting area-based fiction authors. Director Karen Schubert said that there is a growing number of Youngstown-based writers.
It's a series that features writers who have roots in Youngstown. So they were born here, they grew up here, they live here now or have lived here in some way. There are so many writers in Youngstown or in the Youngstown diaspora. It's really exciting, and we wanted to have a chance to celebrate that work.
Those interested in participating in a Lit Youngstown event can head to their website. Over 10,000 miles away from Youngstown, the Australian indie rock pop band known as Vacations released its third studio album today, titled No Place Like Home. The 10-song LP is the band's first with Canadian record label Network Music Group and was produced by frontman Campbell Burns and outside producer John Velasquez. The new additions combines the band's signature indie sound with Americana influences. No Place Like Home is available to stream on all music services. For more information on the band and its upcoming shows, visit vacationsband.com. The McDonough Museum of Art welcomes 5 new art collections for its spring exhibit, opening from 5 to 7 p.m. on January 19th and running until March 2nd. The installation will include a variety of art mediums from sculptures and photography to audio and embroidery pieces. The artists involved include Lauren Semivan, Robert Lee Bell, Jonathan Brewer, Posters Without Borders, and Morgan Bukovic. Claudia Berlinski, the director of the McDonough Museum of Art, said that she chose artists that she found would inspire students.
I'd like to find things that might address the different media that we teach here, as well as different concepts, anything that might inspire the students to think about how things could be with their work.
Other future events at the museum include the annual Art and Design exhibition and the BFA for graduating students. For more information, contact Berlinski at caberlinski@ysu.edu. That's all we have for your weekly student life update, but stick around for John Ostapowitz and the sports update after the break.
All right, so who knows why?
I know why. For starters, I'm getting a top-tier education without the price tag. Can you say that? Engineering, sports, music, business. I can do anything new. I'm getting my hands dirty learning what my friends are only reading about. I'm part of something bigger here. I'm proud to bleed red and black. So yeah, I know why. It's not a question. It's the answer. Youngstown State University. Know why. You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together, we are Youngstown State University. And now, you know
Hello
why.
everyone, I'm John Ostapowicz, and this is your weekly sports update. While YSU students were away on break, the men's basketball team continued their slate of games, now well into Horizon League play.
Thanks,
Executive
John.
producer
YSU
Dylan Lux
began its
will catch
extended
you
win
up
streak
on
after
what
a
you
home win
missed.
against Cleveland State on November 29th of last year. After the win, the team hit the ground running. 3 straight wins on the road followed as the Penguins traveled to Robert Morris University, Ohio University, and Western Michigan University. With a streak of 4 wins, YSU returned home for 4 straight home games. The win streak extended to 7 wins as YSU resumed Horizon League play when the Penguins hosted conference foe Oakland University on New Year's Eve. Head coach Jared Calhoun gave praise to the Golden Grizzlies, especially their toughness.
They have played, I believe, the 12th hardest schedule in the country. So they've been at Illinois, they've been at Ohio State, they've been at Xavier. They've been everywhere. They're big, they're long, they're tough. Very, very good team. Be right at the top of this conference. So we'll have to be ready to play.
Despite a first-half lead by the Penguins, 39-35, 9 threes in the second half by the Golden Grizzlies was too much for the Gwins and brought a victory to Oakland. Their next matchup was on the road in Highland Heights, Kentucky, to face off against Northern Kentucky January 3rd. NKU guard Marquez Ward put up 29 points in the game, leading the Norse to a 79-76 comeback victory, giving YSU its second straight loss. Looking to right the ship, the Penguins returned home to the Bigley Center for a matchup against IUPUI on January 7th. Despite trailing 32-31 at the half, the Penguins would outscore the Jaguars by 11 in the second half, giving the Gwins a 75-65 victory. Fifth-year guard Brandon Rush scored his 1,500th career point in the matchup. On Wednesday, January 10th, Youngstown State took on number 1 in the Horizon League, Purdue-Fort Wayne, in the Bigley Center. The Penguins shot 42% from three-point range in the second half, leading them to a 93-85 victory over the number 1 Mastodons. 3 Penguins were over 20 points in the matchup as Brett Thompson scored his season-high 24 points, Ziggy Reed scored 23, and Brandon Rush scored 20. DJ Burns also had a double-double in the matchup with 13 points and 11 rebounds. Tonight, the Penguins will play on national television on ESPN2 against Horizon League opponent Wright State. The team is hosting a Redout, encouraging YSU fans to wear red to support their team. The game will air tonight at 9 p.m. on ESPN+, and as always, you can follow along with live stats on YSUsports.com. For JambarTV, I'm Dylan Lux. Back to you.
Now, over the winter break, the YSU women's basketball team rounded out non-conference play with a 4-6 record. The Penguins will now play against Horizon League opponents in the new year. On December 29th, the team lost to Wright State University by a final of 82-68. Senior Malia Magestro scored a season-high 22 points. On December 31st, Youngstown State defeated IUPUI 58-56. Senior Emily Saunders led the team with 19 points and 9 rebounds. The game was highly contested late in the game. The teams were tied at 56 with 24.4 seconds left. Fifth-year Shaylee Kirby made 2 go-ahead free throws with 1.4 seconds left to seal the deal for the team's first Horizon League victory of the season. For Kirby, the team's relentlessness efforts down the stretch helped the team secure the win.
We just have to make sure when it comes down to the final minutes and it's close like that to just stay calm and, don't try and do too much, just stay relaxed and play good D. And I think that's what we did. And that kind of, get a stop and that gave us some momentum. So.
To begin the new year, the Penguins defeated Oakland University 70-63. YSU finished the game making 51% of its 47 field goal attempts. For head coach John Nicolay, the team's movement allowed for easy baskets. Well, on January 6th, the Penguins traveled to Cleveland State University. The Vikings defeated the Penguins 79-37. Senior Emily Saunders posted 7 blocks, which is tied for the 6th most by any Division I player this season. This is also the most block shots by a Youngstown State women's basketball player in over 20 years. The women's basketball team was back in action last night against Green Bay on the road. You can view stats from the game at ysusports.com. The Youngstown Phantoms hockey team returned to the home ice inside the Covelli Center for a 2-game series against the Omaha Lancers on January 4th and 5th to kick off the new year. The Lancers swept the Phantoms as they defeated them 6-3 in the first game and 3-2 in an overtime shootout in the second game. Youngstown moves to 17-8-3 on the season and currently is tied for 5th in the United States Hockey League standings. Despite a 4-game losing streak, the defending 2022-23 Clark Cup champion Phantoms still have 33 games remaining in the regular season. Head coach Ryan Ward spoke about the teams coming off the break in the second half of the season already being underway.
The league gets really good the second half of the year, and we've had some adversity with guys out, injured, sick. As we get healthy here and get ready for the stretch run, I think just our consistency of effort, how we play, to obviously move forward here as the second half of the year and into the playoffs.
The Phantoms will hit the road for their next 6 games before returning to Youngstown on January 27th. For more information on the January 12th and 13th games, visit youngstownphantoms.com. The YSU football team finished its 2023 season with an 8-5 record, including its first appearance in the NCAA FCS playoffs since 2016. During the season, senior wide receiver Bryce Oliver broke the school record for total career receiving touchdowns when he scored his 26th against Duquesne University on November 25th in the first round of the playoffs. The previous school record from 1979 was 25 touchdowns. Cedar quarterback Mitch Davison became the first quarterback to start every game in a season since 2013, which set the school record for completions, yards thrown, pass attempts, and completion percentage. The Penguins led the FCS in possession time, averaging 35 minutes and 6 seconds per game. The Gwents also averaged 32 points per game this season, which is the highest since 2013. Football head coach Doug Phillips said the Penguins' performance this season will help push them for a good to a great team in the following years.
Comes down to, offense scoring points, defense being relentless and stopping the run, and special teams being superior. And, we'll go back on film. There's probably a lot of things we need to clean up and get better at, but I couldn't be more proud of our players, our coaches, our fans, our community.
After a successful season, the Penguins finished in the top 25 in 2 national performance polls. The team placed 19th in the Stats Performance FCS poll and 21st in the AFCA FCS Coaches Top 25 poll. The Penguins will return to action September 7th when they begin their 2024 season against Valparaiso. For more information on the Penguins' upcoming fall season, visit ysusports.com. That's all for us here on JambarTV as well as sports. But first, we'll be tossing it over to Molly Burke for a quick weather recap.
Thanks, John. The start of the weekend will be chilly with strong wind speeds, but on Sunday, those wind speeds will decrease. The start of the week will be even colder as temps continue to drop. That's all we have for JambarTV this week. Stay warm, Penguins.
Support for JambarTV is provided in part by the YSU Foundation and the Jane F. Lamb Charitable Foundation. Thank you.